this?
It's your groundhog.
Is this in the hole?
Why do I have to groundhog in the hole? Make sure we're here.
This piece.
My mom
got a text to find her finish. So now I'm going to do what I'm doing.
I'll move the dot.
I have a question. How much are we gonna do on domain and function and all the functions and all that kind of stuff?
It's in every chapter.
Oh, that's stuff I always felt too.
Chris.
Yes.
Then now it's a test Friday.
I didn't. That was my bad.
What else y'all did? Nothing?
We sat there the entire time because everyone took like an hour and a half to finish
Oh, that's it. You say what y'all doing today?
What?
You say what we're doing today?
I think we're gonna do the ACT with the digs or something. He hasn't really said.
Hey, do you have a bow in there? That's too bad.
He took him up.
No, I quit Friday.
I was sitting there, alright, right before we leave your house, it's like, Mr. O, I wasn't here yesterday, so, how am I gonna get the dollar? Here's like, well, you better iron when you copy it. Everyone just walked into class, and I caught someone right before they walked in. And then I barely got it finished, turned it into a piece. Alright, since you just dumped it in, I'm not giving you full credit.
Getting this real quick.
He gave me a 0 for the notebook check that I was here for.
Now move the
Yeah,
date.
get that to me too.
I was so loud.
She wants me to sound what's up to you.
Well,
She's recording today.
Angela, the one like one of the kids isn't doing anything.
There you go.
What is she recording?
Hey, give me a fry. Hey, I have a sugar scone. Okay. Hey, take your whole chicken. Alright, I got an extra. I'm sorry. You have something for me?
Yes.
What is it? Alright.
Put it in the bag.
Wait a second. Oh my goodness, Chris. Why is there a camera?
She's recording, so that's why I have to sit here, so I don't look like I'm not doing anything.
So wait.
Wait, you can get the class.
Weights?
Yeah.
Are you recording now?
How much weight?
I'm grounded.
Alright,
Are you really?
guys.
Chris, this is a healthy back.
Actually, if you stand it correctly, it doesn't hurt like that. So you're leaning forward.
Oh, she just tossed that to me.
She had
Okay.
two sacks.
Oh, shit.
All y'all see it?
Hey, we see
Me
that.
and Katie talked about it. We think it's because our parents don't want us to leave, so they're going to do everything at home. It has nothing to do with you.
Should've been on the second floor.
Did you drop it?
Yeah. I went at meeting to my lost my grip.
Probably wasn't.
Everyone just stops moving.
Yeah. I was like, sorry.
Katie never told her. Yeah, neither do I. It is like she loves different things in her recording. She lost what? I really just want to go to my mom and be like, when she told me to my room, I'm like, what about your room? But I know that wouldn't get me nowhere in life.
Fast. Really fast.
Why are we recording?
We'll start recording every day. I've got to do one video that's 10 minutes and one that's 6. So I'm going to start just recording hours so that hopefully I can pull out a 6-minute section.
I just camera back here.
No, I wasn't meeting my mom. The thing is, okay, so I haven't had time to clean my room. My room wasn't that bad. I had about two complete outfits that were dirty on the floor and a basket of clean laundry. But I also had my own other laundry baskets. That was how my room looked. And I had this huge table in the middle of my room, so it makes my room look like 10 times messier. Anyways, I come home from the game Friday night, and we stayed for the boys' game, and we went to dinner, and then I came home around 10:30, and my dad's waiting up for me. And I was all like, okay, so I went in there, I said, I'm going to bed, hope you guys are doing okay, I got home tonight and everything. And my dad's like, no, I need to talk to you. I was like, why did I go to the bathroom? I had to pee. And so I started walking towards his bathroom, and he's like, no, don't you dare touch my bathroom. So I had to go all the way upstairs to go use my bathroom. And then I came back downstairs, and like all the lights are on and everything. My dad's like, hand over the keys, the phones, the iPod, the iPad, the computer, and anything else. I was like, do you want my crochet needle too?
See, it's the way you guys say it. Y'all think you're just grown.
No, and then, so then I was like the only smart thing that I said to him. I'm dead serious. No, because I was tired and I didn't want to argue with him. And so then, I gave him everything, and he's like, you know why you're in trouble? And I said, yeah, my room's not clean, and I haven't been home to clean it, but I was going to clean it tomorrow morning. And he's all like, okay, well, we'll talk about it in the morning. So I go up that night, and I totally clean my room, like, spotless. All I have to do in the morning is clean my bathroom and vacuum. And then I get up in the morning, and we get into it, and I'm like, I'm not going to argue with you because, like, arguing doesn't get me anywhere. And he's like, well, that's good for you to finally figure that out, but, you know, I'm tired of running around in circles with you about your room. You're like, how can I send you out into the world if your room's going to look like this? I'm like, he said, you have dorm inspections and don't expect Debbie to pick everything up for you. And I was all like, well,
Really?
yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna be a pig at
Dorm
college.
inspections consisted of if like there were things plugged in, like you couldn't leave curling. When I went to school, everybody had curling irons. You couldn't have your curling irons plugged in, stuff like that. And if it was like filthy, like disgusting, call the health department. But I mean, if it was a dirty clothes, it wasn't a big deal.
I mean, I'm not gonna be a pig with Debbie in the room, like. She won't let me. And so then,
That's what Allie's for.
and then, my dad, he's like, well, you know, I'm just thinking about sending you to BD next year. And
You
I
better
said,
not.
I'm not gonna go to BD. I'll take out student loans before I ever have to stay close to here. And like, it threw my payments backwards because they thought that I was always gonna rely on them and that they were gonna pay my way through college. But I'm like, I'm gonna go to Tech. I'll take out student loans if I have to, but I'm going to Tech because I can't be here for another 2 years. And I mean, I think I heard their feelings, but
No, I think I heard the feeling, so I don't care.
but I don't care. I mean, they're
Right, I heard my mom
they're
story. I made her
Indian
cry.
givers. They're like, here, take this. You're doing so good. And then they're like, shh. And I need my phone. I got scheduled to work on Saturday morning, and then I was offered to stay Saturday night because somebody couldn't make it. And Danny told me no. Well, then Danny texts me, and he's all like, can you come in? Don't have a phone, so I didn't get hours. Jeremy had to take me home last night after work. Like, it's more of a hassle not to have my stuff than it is to have my stuff.
That's what my parents don't know.
That's what and like, I'm trying to make it hard on my dad, but he's all like, just catch the activities bus after basketball. I was like, what's the activities bus?
Which is ironic.
Rachel can take me home.
We used to have I don't think they've ever had them here, but I've taught at schools that have it. Like, in New Jersey it was great because, like, the buses ran at 2:30, which is when they got out of school. And then they ran again at 3:30. So, like, anybody could stay after school for extra help, or if you had club meet, like, there was another whole bus that ran. It was so nice because kids could never go, well, I can't stay because Okay, we're going to do about 10 problems with the texting, voting. So get your phones out. If you have a calculator, get that out. We'll do about 10 today, about 10 tomorrow. I'll check your homework here in a little bit.
Are we doing the texting, voting, crap stuff?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because it's fun. Okay. Oh, you don't have a phone. No.
That's why I smoke.
Okay.
Weekend?
Your test is
Oh,
Friday.
everyone,
Your test is Friday, and it'll cover these 5 sections: increasing, decreasing, piecewise, functions, applications, algebra functions like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing functions, figuring out their domain and range, composition of functions like f of g of x and g of f of x, symmetry, and transformation, deciding whether a function is even or odd, and direct and inverse variation. Okay, so let's look at a few of these problems and make sure you're. Okay, determine the interval on which the function is increasing. If you think the interval is from 0 to 1, then text A. 268-324 to 37607. If you think the answer is B, text that code. If you think it's C, text the
So
third
we gotta
code.
text it to 37607.
Right.
That's a bunch of numbers to text.
376.
Already have it in here.
Yep. Should
Oh,
already have it in there.
38.
3, 7.
Justin, you need a little bit more time to vote?
Oh.
We put A or we put
Put the number. If your answer is A, put 268-324. If your answer is B, put 268.
What else on fire?
Yeah, what do I put the number?
That's spicy.
And that's how it knows if you're voting A, B, C, D.
Why can't you just say A?
It's just the way the software's set up. What?
Is this like spam where you pay your money and you vote?
Okay, let's see
Oh,
how
I
it.
didn't send you.
All right, looks like most of you have the right idea on that one. 90% of you voted A. So let's take a look and make sure that's right.
You put what?
All right, if we're looking, where is it increasing? It's increasing in this little window. So that's between 0 and 1 is where it's increasing. Good job. Any questions about that?
No.
Person that said 1 to 2, do you understand why it's 0 to 1? Okay. Okay, take a look. Using the graphing calculator, find any relative maxima or minima of the graph f of x equals x cubed minus 6x squared.
Look.
Calculator?
They look like calculator too.
It's dead.
So bad.
Wow.
Oh, I thought you were being for real.
I'm surprised they didn't. I sold 3 scarves over the weekend
That's great.
because I had time to make it.
Good, I had time.
Make some, I'm behind.
Granny, how much do you owe for your trip?
301.
When are y'all going before spring break?
I know, Lincoln asked me if I wanted to go to spring or with them to Florida. I can't.
Will y'all be gone that week too?
No, we come back Monday.
Whoa.
Alright, does everybody have an opportunity to vote? Not
How
yet.
are things
Still trying to
still?
figure it out.
You're probably gonna have to adjust your window a little bit. If you
Yeah.
need it to go wider, you change your X min and your X max. If you need it to go taller
what's the-
vertically, you'll change your Y min and your Y max.
How far do you think I should do that?
What's the,
The standard is -10 to 10. So if you need it to go from -20 to 20 or -50 to 50 or wherever, you're gonna have to adjust and see if that works. And if it doesn't, then try something else.
how do you find what's the short with a different minimum or maximum?
You're gonna have, you can use the calculate function on there, second trace.
Never mind. Oh, okay.
You have to cut out a little, you have to cut out that little area, find the minimum, find the maximum.
Got it.
Not what you're talking about.
Up there,
Alright, let's see,
Oh, you can't go do it yet.
not yet.
no.
Whoa.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know which one you do.
Is X 4 or is X -32?
It's pizza.
Why don't we just yell the answer, guys?
I didn't know.
Oh, I'm not there
Yeah,
yet.
no one's sent it yet.
I didn't.
Shit.
I
Oh,
don't
that's not right.
Wait, don't change it.
2 people voted.
Wait, I just sent mine.
I just sent it. Oh, we can still send.
Footages.
You sent her?
Oh, yes, sir.
Now we got 5 people participating.
6.
That 6th one was my class on.
Anybody else? Alright, it is B, when you graphed it, there's a relative maximum of 0 when X is 0, and then it dips down and it's -32 when X is 4. Difference between A and B, some of you guys were discussing it, was would it be A, would it be B? is the lowest value 4 or is the lowest value negative 32? It's negative 32 and that happens when x is 4. Okay? Alright, clear that one?
Everyone get ready to be serious.
Yeah. Hey, is she coming in here? Is she walking around?
Yeah, she is. I just saw her going in that room.
Okay. Alright. Goodness gracious, what is going on up there? Okay, let me explain this one instead of you voting on this one. Let's just take a look at this one because all day today it's been giving people some fits. They're like, how do you figure out what your piecewise function is? Well, it's doing 3 different things. It's linear here, it's constant here, and then it's curved or quadratic. The linear part, if you'll look, they're all the same. It's negative 2x minus 4. So it's negative 2x minus 4 in here, negative 2x minus 4, and then it's constant here, and the constant part is just 2. So it's 2 right here, and then it's curved, which is the 2 minus x squared, and that's here. So I'm looking for it to be negative 2x minus 4 when x is less than negative 3, or it might be less than or equal to, okay? It's hard to tell if it's, because they intersect at the same point, so I'm not sure if it's part of the linear or part of the constant. It's constant between negative 3 and 0, and then it's quadratic from 0 on up, or x is greater than 0. So I've got to find the graph that kind of goes with that. This one says it's 2 from negative 3 to 0, it's 2 minus x squared for greater than 0, and it's negative 2x minus 4 for less than or equal to negative 3. So that's the choice. This says it's 2 between 0 and 2, which is not true. This one says it's 2 between negative 3 and 0, which is true, but then it says it's 2 minus x squared for x less than 0, which is not true. And this says it's 2 between 0 and 2, which is also not true. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, let's try to vote on the next one then.
Oh, I voted.
Okay.
I voted for A.
Okay, let me clear that then right quick. I would just gave people trouble all day long, so I thought it was better if we kind of went through that one together. Okay, take a look at this one. If you're evaluating a piecewise function, I want you to evaluate f of negative 1 if f of x is x squared plus 1 when x is less than or equal to negative 3, the absolute value of x minus 6 if x is between negative 3 and 1, and the square root of 3x for all x is greater than 1. So you've got to decide which part of the piecewise function you would want to use to evaluate f of negative 1.
Then plug the negative 1.
Don't plug negative 1, but you got to decide, do I plug it into the top expression, the middle expression, or the bottom expression?
We're voting.
And then vote. After you get an answer, you can vote.
So what do the numbers mean?
Yeah. Which numbers?
On the answers.
Would your answer be, if I plug in negative 1 to this function, would the result be 2? Or would the result be 0? Or would the result be 7? Or would the result be 5?
Okay. Too bad you can't vote again, Demi. Alright, I made this up.
Ready?
No, I made this up. I did. Nobody did.
I think you can only vote once. That's okay. We've got one more problem like this, so. And last period, they only got like 50% got it the first time, but then 100% got it at the same time. So I'm confident that you'll learn and you'll be able to apply it a little bit better. All right, ready? Let's check the answers. Let's see. It's okay. That's good. That's good. 78. Okay, think it's C. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. If we're looking at this problem, if we're going to plug in negative 1,
Is that the answer?
C is the answer, yes. Because negative 1 is a value right in here. It's between negative 3 and positive 1. So if I'm gonna find f of negative 1, then I'm gonna plug it to the absolute value, and it'd be -1 minus 6, so it's the absolute value of -7, which is 7. If I had asked you to find f of 10, I wouldn't have used that expression. I would have used the last one because that x value is bigger than 1. So it depends on which x value you're substituting in as to which expression you use. Alright, back to...
I just did
Just learned something new.
I just didn't see the absolute value sign.
Alright. Okay, let's try this another one. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Okay, I want you to find f of 2. So you decide, do you use the top expression, the middle expression, or the bottom expression? If you're trying to find f of 2, and then vote. You can talk to your neighbor, but don't yell out your answer across the room.
Oh.
Okay? Do any of the answer choices correspond with the decimal that you got?
I'm so tired right now.
What's your answer?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Once you log in.
Oh. I've slept in 2 of my classes already today.
Yeah, he was like.
I thought I was sleeping in my bed second period. Teacher called on me to answer a question.
Yeah.
So I woke up. I was just like, it took me like a minute or 2 to finally answer the question because I seriously thought I was in my bed sleeping.
That's not good. Alright, let's see if we got this.
Hey,
That was also a college class. So.
It keeps saying like the poll is closed. For me. Hey.
Oh,
Good there.
100%.
Well, okay, it is B. We'll look at that one here in a second. Everybody got it right. So I guess I really don't have to explain it. But if you're going to plug in for this particular one, you're going to plug into the...
Maybe, I hope she doesn't
You
get
went
mad
full
at me.
screen? Do the little blue thing.
It is b the square root of 6 because you're plugging in a value for x that is larger than 1. You're going to use that bottom expression. So b the square root of 3 times 2, which is square root of 6, which is a decimal number, right? The decimal you get corresponds to square root of 6. Okay. We're going to do 1 or 2 more. If f of x is x plus 3 and g of x is x squared plus 2, what would f plus g of x be?
Ooh, God. Locking it in. I can't understand it.
Alright.
Dum-dum-dum-dum.
No. Bach. When I was getting my haircut, that lady stole my other one. Oh, she give back. What? What's that? She stole what? My hairdresser stole my haircut.
I still got it.
No, it's good.
How come my hair is deflated and then me? I would have it so curly.
I curled my hair today. It looks so
Oh,
good.
yeah.
It started raining and then it just got out. It rained.
Look, I have like
Yeah, it rained yesterday. Were you not outside? Oh, yesterday. I was talking about today.
Reagan, nice hair.
Alright, let's see.
I don't care.
F plus g of x.
Chris is probably the only one who voted.
I voted.
Woo!
That's what I was going, but it keeps
Only
saying,
5
"My
people
poll-
voted, 6
the
people."
poll is closed."
Hey,
Hey, we might
I
go.
think she was trying to hit me with that too.
I don't know
I
what
think
she's
she was
doing.
over number 3.
Ah.
Guess I won't use this videotape. Right?
Sorry. But we can restart
I'm trying to
it.
video for my national board stuff.
What are you doing?
No, what you need to do is tell us when you're gonna do it.
What?
No, you said you're gonna do a bunch of hours and then pick it out. Well, you can't be still for a bunch of hours. So you should be like, well, we're gonna take 6 minutes out of this lesson and then we could do it for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after that, it'd be just.
Or you can go 10 minutes.
Okay, we'll pick it back up here tomorrow. You can work on the 10 problems that you have for today, the review problem.
She doesn't want to use them for you. He's like, I'm done. I quit.
I don't know, I'm gonna have to do more than today, I can tell you that.
Well, you
Is it
should
gonna
have
be
like
like
all
all
week.
next
time. We're recording.
Yeah, so I need to make sure the back of my hair looks really good.
Yeah, I know.
It won't matter.
Really?
If it doesn't look
I mean,
good, then it'll,
Wait,
like I can
is
say
it
I'm
up to
teaching
the-
poverty or something.